G'day everyone, it's SailorMB here, and today I have for you a solo Reaper 5 adventure. This video is going to consist of 3 fights. The first one is me soloing against an entire Galleon, the second one is against another tenacious solo PvP player, and third, I get ambushed at Reapers when I'm trying to sell my loot and have to fight off a duo sloop. So let's see how this goes. This first fight here, this Galleon was fighting another player sloop, and of course I have to go in and defend the player sloop and take out this Galleon. So we're a bit far away here. I'm just getting my eye in with my first few shots here, and it doesn't take long until I start getting these initial hits on. It is very easy to hit a Galleon at long range, and it's very difficult for a Galleon to hit a sloop. And I'm getting some kills on the deck of their ship. So these guys, I've already got the first hits in on them, and I've already got the first kills in on them. So this is already not going well for them. This wedge that we're running is very dangerous for me, and if this was against an experienced crew, I would have got absolutely destroyed here. But it was just fortunate for me, I got 2 deck shot kills there, so then when our ships did close like this, they were unable to capitalize on it. So I throw some fire on them, which is always the right choice. I cancel my sword lunge on the ladder there because old mate missed his board. And I'm not going to take advantage of this immediately because ramming always does a lot of damage. So first things first, I want my ship to be in 100% tip-top condition. And once we've repaired that, we'll do an anchor turn and we'll turn on these guys and see if we can keep the pressure up as much as possible. So now we're just going to be continuing to put as much hurt as we can on these guys. As before, it's very easy to get long range shots on a Galleon because their hitbox is so big and they're going to have a tough time getting hits on me. Especially given I've filled them with holes, I've knocked 2 of their masts down, and I've covered them in fire. They are going to be so distracted that even if I pass by their broadside, they're not going to have anyone available to take advantage of that. So they have 1 person on cannons at the moment, and they only do 1 or 2 shots, and then they move off to do some repairing on the ship. So I am very much on the front foot here, and I need to keep that up. So as you can see, I am just peppering them with cannonballs, keeping them on the back foot, giving them all the holes they need to repair. I'll continue going for their masts a little bit later on. And when we get close enough, you'll see the flame bombs from that very first engagement. The fire is rendered out at the moment because the distance is too far, but you'll see that they did not get the fire under control at all. So the whole time they're over there, taking cannon fire from me, trying to repair their masts, trying to repair their holes, trying to bucket the water out of their ship, they're also constantly on fire. So they have, even though there's 4 players on this Galleon, they are so distracted at the moment by everything going on. Now I switched back to fire bombs because, as I said, I was too far away and the fire wasn't rendering in for me quite yet. But as you can see, they are absolutely covered. And we had a potential boarder there, but it sounds like he got knocked by a shark, so he missed that board. So we're just going to keep putting holes into them. 3 people on that Galleon is going to have a tough time keeping it under control with all the damage I'm putting into it. So we're going to get this last mast of theirs down to completely destroy their maneuverability. And we get that down first shot, which is good because I didn't have many chain shots left. And I did miss quite a few on that very first pass we did of them. So this is going to be a good opportunity for me to board. We're just getting some last point blank damage in, but they board us. So my plan here is just to try and knock him off with blunderbombs so I can get back to focusing on their ship. He closes on me, and unfortunately he blunderbusses me, and that knockback is ridiculous, and I go flying. So I have to make a decision here. Do I try and board the ship, or do I go back to mine? And I take the safe option and go for a mermaid, but as I'm swimming, I hear the ding that their ship has sunk. It could not handle 2 people being off ship. It's quite possibly they deliberately abandoned it because they knew they weren't going to win, but now I have to go back to my ship and find it very on fire. There's 3 pirates on it. I see this guy's like half AFK, so I try and get a kill on him, but I stand still for too long. GG lads, pity about your ship. I am coming back from a reasonable break when I recorded this footage, so I'm a bit rusty with my swordplay and gunplay. So it takes me a little while to get back into the groove. So I spawn again, this time on the bow of the ship, and I see a perfect opportunity for a heavy attack here. I go in, I hit both of them, What? And I get one blundered. I'm not going to try to understand how that worked, but it just happened, so we have to respawn, and we have to go at it a third time now. And as you can hear, even in the black screen, we have a bit of water on the ship, so the first thing to do is go and scoop that so we don't sink. So we get one scoop in, they haven't come down yet, we get a second scoop in. They can't see me back here because they're on fire, so I get an easy blunder kill on that guy. I sword dash through him, which completely disorientates him, and then I can just unload on him without taking any extra damage there. I have no idea where the third person's gone, but I'm just gonna count my blessings. So that was an awesome fight. It chewed up a lot of my supplies though. So I see this sloop over here doing an active fort. I did do a full circle all the way around them, but the skeletons that were left in the towers were just absolutely destroying me. So I couldn't find a good opportunity to cannon myself over. Fortunately for me though, they pull away from the defensive spot they had on the island and then try and engage me on the seas. So this was good news for me. So I get the first few hits in, but they're not too bad on cannons either. They pepper me a bit as well. But I definitely have the better cannon in judgment here. And I switched to chain shots. And I missed the first one again, as always. But my second one, I get them in. Like the Galleon though, I'm not going to take advantage of this immediately. Maybe I should, but when I play solo sloop, I play very defensive. So I do put my ship in a circle, but I always repair first before I do anything too aggressive, because I don't want my ship sinking when I'm not on it. That's one of the worst things that can happen as a solo slooper. So after repairing, our friend here has got underway, and he has been going away from us a bit. So I lock my wheel to the right. I'm thinking about firing here, but it's a bit far, but I see a good opportunity to board. So I shoot myself out of the cannon, and let's see if I can get in front of this guy and get on the ship. And my first attempted board actually works, which is very surprising for me. So I get on, he doesn't notice, I hit that anchor straight away, and the knockback from the blunderbuss just sends him flying. During that last fight, where the other guys were camping my ship, I did swap from a pistol to a blunderbuss, because it's just too powerful. Like, that knockback, sending people flying, it's crazy not to use a blunderbuss, even though I hate doing it. But when I opened up his cannonball barrel there, I saw how many supplies I had, and that Galleon fight chewed through mine. So I'm going to use this guy to get supplies. He's just a solo player. I don't want to sink him, even for an emissary flag. I don't really care that much. I just want some supplies. So I drop my cannonballs, and what we're going to do is we're going to load up his rowboat full of supplies and any loot we can get, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. But of course I take too long and get distracted, and he even manages to get the jump on me when he respawns, and I just yeet myself straight into his blunderbuss. I tried boarding back at the rowboat here because it's the unexpected things to do, but the waves were definitely not high enough, so I do have to go to the ladder and pull off a normal board here. So I climb up the ladder, he's waiting there for me, but he must have got distracted looking at my ship, so I managed to get away from him. He gets a good amount of shots on me. I sword dash through him, and that allows me to unload on him uninterrupted. Sword dashing through other pirates is completely disorientating, and that's twice now I've won a sword fight, even though I started at less health, because sword dashing through them. So we've looted everything we want, so we set his ship sailing, make sure the wheel is going straight so he doesn't just circle back around. And I find out at the end he did have a storage crate there the entire time, and I didn't need the rowboat. But oh well, the rowboat play is a lot cooler. So we get the rowboat, dock it to our ship, and it's time to get our ship moving again. Now I did this because I didn't necessarily want to sink a solo player. I know how that feels, so I was just going to take some supplies, take some loot, and leave him alone. But this guy wants to PvP, and I have to respect the balls on this man. So after unloading the rowboat, he's still chasing me. So I have to give this guy what he wants, and he's gonna get a good PvP fight. So let's get this started. We've now positioned ourselves parallel. I think I can outshoot this guy, so I'm not too concerned about being parallel here. I think if I get my eye in on the cannonballs, I can just get him completely on the back foot. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I got the first shot in, but it didn't take him too long to get a shot on me. And now I'm going to switch to chain shots to try and get that mast down. I got knocked with a cannonball, and as I'm trying to eat, I get hit yet again. This is the most dangerous thing for a solo sleeper.
Adam said hi, mother. Mum? Adam said hi, mother. Hi. She said hi.
I also say hi to your mother.
No. That was almost intentional. Really? You didn't bring anything in your home? Well, okay.
Tim, say hi to Adam and your mother for me.
I ran as if he went silent.
But Diane was totally worth it for this interaction on the ferry. I have no idea what my ship is doing. It could be sinking right now. So we're loading in. The water was pretty high, and our mate here is hot on our heels. So we're just going to have to get repaired and get back in this fight. So after resetting, we're back in circle again. I'm trying a little turtle mode strat here, where my sail is mostly up, but it really didn't work. It allowed him to immediately knock my sail down, and now I'm just sitting here spinning in circles. I think it was worth trying a slightly different strat, because this fight had been going on for a while, but it really didn't work out for me. So I am fully on the defensive here now. The most important thing is to get that sail up and get my maneuverability again. So that's what I'm focusing on. Pulling the sail up and repairing. We saw him sword dash off the back of his ship there, so we're gonna have to be prepared to defend. And we hear him coming over, so now's the time. We blunderboss, it doesn't knock him off the ship, but the second one does. So now we're just gonna keep our ship afloat. He's throwing fire bombs, which is an alright strat, because it could get me low enough on health that he can easily kill me with a blunderbuss. I accidentally hit myself with a blunderbomb then, but again, he stands on the back canopy, so it's really easy to knock him off. And this fire he's putting on is making it really easy for me to bucket. So he boards again, but it looks like he hasn't been healing properly, so I was able to finish him off there. So now we just gotta reset our ship while he's respawning. So now we're passing on either side of Cannon Cove here, and this could be a good opportunity to board. An island between, or a fort between, allows you to cover more ground than you usually would be able to. Because even if there's no cannon on the island, you can still do a sword dash and make up heaps of ground. So that's what I'm trying for here, and it was so close to working. But as is the theme with this fight, this is just another one in the list of fail boards. So we try and swim our little heart out, but we are gonna miss this ladder here. So we get back to our ship. Our mate has been picking up supplies from islands and some barrels. So this fight has gone on a lot longer than it usually would, because he's been taking the time to collect those supplies. I mean, I stole most of his, which is even more congratulations to him for coming back to the fight. And we get our chain shot in here. So now it's time to make our move. This fight has been going on for far too long. It's time to end things and find someone else. So we knock the mast down, we cannon over, we throw some blunderbombs to try and knock him off repairs, and that does appear to be successful because we're able to board, and he's not able to get the kill on us there. We were quite lucky, but we jump off, we grab the ladder, and now it's time to just finish this guy off. He definitely has holes in him from before we jumped over, and yep, his ship is slowly filling up. So now we just have to stay here and try and secure the kill. Just waiting for a respawn, and here it is. We immediately hit him with 2 blunderbombs, knock him off the ship,
GG, bro. You did
and
really
now we
good.
just have to ladder guard him on his own ship, and that's exactly what we do. And as always, wish them the GG. Massive shout out to this guy. He really didn't have to come back after I'd stolen his supplies, but he put up a hell of a fight, and it was an honor to PvP against him. And now with all this loot I've managed to collect, it's time to sail to Reapers and sell it. What could possibly go wrong here? But as we're closing in on Reapers, we spot some sails on the horizon. And it looks like these guys want to fight. So now it's time to set up for these guys. Because of the way that Reaper Island works with sandbars, it's very easy to create a corridor for these guys to come down in, where they just have to run straight at my guns. And that's exactly what they do. They take the aggressive strategy and run straight at my cannon fire. And I'm not complaining about this at all. I do whiff a lot of my cannon shots, which just goes to show I don't always have good aim on the cannons. I can be quite inconsistent. But we get the chain shot exactly when we need to, and it's time to start circling these guys. So we get the chain shot in, we drop our sail, and instead of unloading that chain shot, we'll just fire it for another bit of damage. We knock one of them off, we put a few blunder bombs on them just to try and delay them a few seconds longer, and it's time to start this circle. But we did have quite a bit of decent amount of damage to them already, so I'm just going to shoot myself straight over there. I'm not going to try and do any more damage. And we almost get an amazing board, but we bounce off the ladder, and they've now went full sail, and they've got their wheel locked to the left. So I'm not going to get this board, unfortunately. So I just have to swim for a mermaid, and because I am so close to Reapers, it takes me a hot minute. So by the time I get back to my ship, we're now not even fighting anywhere near Reapers, and we're completely out in the open. But again, I get the good ship positioning on them. They are nosing too far into me, and I'm already in front of them, so I don't think they have angle on me here. So I can just completely unload on them, and as they close the distance, the chain shot becomes the better option here, and we knock that one down first try. So we immediately cut our sails and turn our wheel, because we want to take as much advantage of this as possible. The first two fights, I went very easy, but this time, I have no damage, so there is nothing stopping me from being super aggressive here. So I immediately turn on them, I fire off one cannonball, but I do have to adjust my helm before I turn too far. So we get an alright circle going on them here, and now we can just focus on cannons for a little bit. But I am getting absolutely juked by these waves. Our ship is sitting so much higher than theirs for no good reason, just apart from the random waves. So unfortunately, there was a lot of wasted time there where I couldn't shoot them. But the waves do finally calm down, and I'm able to get some good shots on them to get them nice and distracted. But now they've got a shot on me as well, so I can't go off until I get that repaired. So I repair that, I turn my ship around, and it's time to pump them full of cannonballs yet again. So they're just sitting there at the moment. They do have their mast up, so at any time they could set sail. So I'm waiting for their mast to drop. I see it drop a little bit there. I assume they failed the repair and it's going to fall down again, but it hasn't. I must have knocked them off with cannonball as they were lowering it. So once it goes fully down, I set myself up to send off. No way! I landed on their ship and then bounced off. Oh, that would have been so sick. So after mermaiding back to our ship, they've had an opportunity to completely reset the fight, which is terribly unfortunate, but we did everything right. We just got messed up by that board. And they have got a Megalodon spawn on them now, and he's going to help us out here. He knocks their ship into the chain shot. He does damage to them, but he gave them a shit ton of speed, so we just have to spam some blunder bombs here. That one goes off their bowsprit. I almost killed myself, but fortunately I didn't. But we're just going to have to repair the ram damage there now. Ramming tends to do a lot of damage, so I always repair that before being aggressive. But we do put ourselves in a circle, so we don't go too far away. So after coming back, the circle was a little too tight, so we're only going to get a few shots on them again, and we're going to have to readjust, but they still haven't got their mast up, and the Megalodon is still circling them. So I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to go for a board here. It sucks soloing in a storm because it's really hard to get a circle, and I don't necessarily need cannon shots on them because the Megalodon's going to be doing damage for me. So I shoot myself over. Time to board. Let's see what I can do here. One of them dies immediately pulling up the mast. I was lucky that guy didn't get me. I should have jumped over him one sword sight sooner, but it turned out alright. So now I just have to try and keep them dead long enough for the Megalodon to do more holes, or for the existing holes to be enough. So of course we raid their supplies, and then we just wait for the respawn. So he's respawned at the back, and we're just going to try and knock him off the ship. We don't necessarily need to go in for the kills, and the safer thing for me to do is just knock them off. And I don't know if this guy doesn't have food on him, but he dies to this next blunder bomb here because he didn't restock his health. And my ship comes in just to do some more damage. So we quickly jump over there because I'm a very defensive player. I anchor myself so I can repair my ship and immediately get back on their ship. But their second respawn jumped off and tried to board me. Their ship hadn't sunk yet. Their ship only sunk after he jumped off. So they absolutely could have saved that, but they didn't. But anyway, it was a good fight, and it's always fun getting attacked at Reapers. It shows a lot of balls. So after changing the crew type to open to help get someone to sell my loot and to share my gold around, it's time to hand off the Reaper ship to this random pirate I picked up. Okay, Lucky, I am done for the night. The ship is yours. If you don't want a PvP, then you should take down the emissary flag, otherwise people will come try and attack you. If you enjoyed the clips, please feel free to like and subscribe, it does help a lot. See you guys on the Sea of Thieves.